Royal Caribbean has learned their lesson when it comes to messing with an American institution. Reviews are out, and Norwegian's newest ship isn't everything people hoped. Carnival guests had to abandon port early, and a couple begs their ship not to leave them behind. Ahoy, travelers! It's Amy with Cruising from the Ozarks here with your weekly Cruise News Roundup and my thoughts on some of the biggest stories of the week. An incoming storm forced Carnival Pride crew to attempt to locate and notify guests that the ship needed to leave port early on Friday. The Pride was scheduled to remain at port in Cove, Ireland until 7 p.m., but with weather expected to increase significantly by 5 p.m. and continue for several hours due to Storm Betty, the ship needed to leave port earlier than planned. The problem, of course, is getting everyone who went ashore notified. While it is possible to notify those on excursions that have been booked through the cruise line, notifying those who had gone off on their own or had booked excursions through local companies presents a little bit of an issue. Now, wind is one of the main problems when it comes to a ship being docked during a storm, as well as trying to sail out of port through narrow channels and high winds. Ships can become loose from the docks, and then there's no telling what kind of damage can be done. And while they're trying to get out of port, they usually have to go through some kind of narrow channels, and it's very precision movements, and high winds will definitely affect that. Unfortunately, little information is available on exactly when the Pride managed to leave port or if they had to leave passengers behind. I did find one X post, formerly Twitter, showing that the Pride was still docked in Cove around 7 p.m. their time, but that's assuming that the cruise tracker screen grab that was on the post was actually taken at the time of the post. We're just going to have to wait for more information. Hopefully, everything's okay. There has been a lot of drama and discussion around the rumors that Royal Caribbean might start charging for pizza. Almost every cruise tuber has talked about it, including me. If you remember, it was less than 2 weeks ago that recent guests on Royal Caribbean cruises had been asked two controversial questions. Would cruisers be willing to pay for Sorrento's pizza? And if charging for pizza meant customers would start looking at booking through another line. Well, for once, the negative reactions from the cruising public has brought about a good outcome for cruisers, as the president and CEO came out Thursday and posted a statement on his Facebook page assuring customers that Royal will not be charging for Sorrento's pizza. In a statement, Michael Bailey said, "Pizza, pizza everywhere. A couple of weeks ago, we conducted one of our frequent small group guest surveys. As usual, we asked questions on this and that, including customer thoughts on money charges for pizza." He left out a pizza emoji there. That was a missed opportunity. The question was posted with the result that many emails and comments were sent. The survey said 80% of guests were opposed, 20% of guests said that they would still go for pizza with a charge, and 25% of guests surveyed said they would consider other cruise lines. To calm all our pizza lovers, don't worry, we are not charging for pizza. Really bothers me that he puts a space before an exclamation point, but moving on. So I'd love to know what you guys think about this statement. I think he's trying to act as if their question regarding charging for pizza was just a one-off and that they never actually planned to charge for pizza. But I'm not buying that at all. When he says, "Oh, we ask questions about this and that like we always do." No, this was intentional. I will say that I cannot imagine Royal actually thought anyone would be for paying for pizza on a cruise ship. That's an American institution. At least it is when it comes to cruising. I'm also surprised at the survey results. According to Bailey, 20% said they would be okay paying for pizza. I just don't think that's accurate. And this is the problem with survey questions. The question doesn't take into consideration all those people who don't eat pizza to begin with. I have a feeling some of those who said that they'd be willing to pay answered that way because they don't care one way or the other. They don't eat it, so it doesn't affect them if the pizza becomes a charged item. Do you think that 25% of Royal Caribbean cruisers would really choose another line just because there was a charge for pizza? I wonder if that number has more to do with people wanting to make Royal know how unhappy they were with even the suggestion that pizza would be an upcharge. The comments on Bailey's Facebook post spanned the gamut for sure. Some praised the company for listening to cruisers, while others pointed out that pricing on Royal cruises are still out of control. One commenter said, "Thank you for listening and responding in a positive way to what most cruisers want. Yes, it's understandable that companies are focused on profits. Your response is a bright light in a world where there appears to be more takeaways than guest satisfactions." Now, I don't know about this. I feel like that's a little overboard for a company that has been consistently raising the cost of cruises to the point where some people are having to go to other lines because they just can't really afford Royal Caribbean anymore. And to that point comes another poster who said, "I'm going on a 6-night all-inclusive vacation to Mexico next month, and it was $2,500 flights included at a 5-star resort. My cruise for 7 nights is closer to $4,000, not including the drinks package or anything additional." And someone responded to that and said, "Yes, we wanted so much to take our grandson this summer on Royal, one of the larger ships, Oasis class. For the 3 of us, without drinks and Wi-Fi, it was $6,500 to $8,500. Who can afford that? We ended up on another line on a large ship with all the bangs and whistles for $3,900, including drinks and Wi-Fi. And he loved it so much, we booked 2 more for the summer of 24 and 25. Money could have gone to Royal, but not at this price." So I think there are more issues than just the pizza. Now, reviews are coming out, and it seems like the Norwegian Viva has some of the same issues that other Norwegian ships have had in the past. If you've ever been on a Norwegian ship, you probably know what I'm talking about. At least for me, this is an issue. And it's that event spaces are too small for the popularity of the events that they host in them. By now, you would think that Norwegian would know that Sid Norman's Poorhouse is not big enough for the performances scheduled in the bar. On the Viva, Sid Norman's only holds 70 people, which is definitely not enough room for even half of those who would want to come and see a show like Rumors, their Fleetwood Mac tribute show. With close to 4,000 passengers on the Viva, you would think that the line would plan a little bit better for these popular venues. On our last cruise on the Breakaway, we didn't even try to get in because the only way to get a seat in Sid Norman's was to stand in line for an hour. And I don't want to stand in line for an hour and then find out that I was number 72 and I don't have a seat. While the ship itself looks beautiful, I do think Norwegian should have designed the Prima class ships to not be so chopped up with lots of small venues. I feel like the line is trying to disperse passengers around the ship so that no one space is crowded. However, that doesn't solve the problem that they seem to have with popular performances and events. Having a large space in addition to the theater for popular game shows and performances, etc., would be something I suggest the line looks into before they design another class of ship. A video is making the rounds on social media of a couple begging to not be left behind. But before we discuss that, if you enjoy this video and maybe even learn something, consider subscribing with the notification bell on so you don't miss out on any future posts. Be sure to hit that like button as well. It only takes a second, and doing so helps cruisers like you find us. Despite their cries to the captain, 2 guests were left behind in Italy when they neglected to make it back to their ship on time. Tuesday, the MSC Splendida ported in Bari, Italy from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Well, when the couple finally made it to the pier, the gangway had already been removed and the ship was starting to pull away. The video making its round on social media show the couple waving, and the man shouts in Italian for the captain, saying, "Captain, wait for us, please. You can do it if you want to." The ship did not return to the pier for these tardy cruisers. Ship captains do not want to have to leave passengers behind, and they will wait for a while, but they have to keep to a schedule to make it to their next port of call. As it is, when passengers are late, ships often need to speed up to make up that lost time, which then burns more fuel and costs the company money. Of course, pier runner videos can be funny, as they almost always show people running to make the ship, and they do make the ship. It's actually pretty rare to see a video where people are being left behind. Watching for pier runners is a popular activity on cruises. Are you more likely to be a pier runner or someone watching from the ship to see if they can spot a pier runner? Comment below. Why not stick around and check out this video and then come back for more information designed to help you have an amazing cruise. Have a blessed week, everyone.